The flu season is bad. It's been reported that 85 adults and 20 children have died from it across the country. Doc Siegel is with us. Worst in years?
Worst in years. 2012 and 14 are similar, but what's even worse here is it's peaking very early. And I want to talk about Catherine Gallagher, who's 27 years old and tragically just died in California. Reason I want to talk about her is she had the flu, but then she developed pneumonia and a urinary infection and an ear infection, and those were missed. So I need everyone out there to understand that flu is an enabler. Once you have the flu, it knocks down your immune system. You can have another infection come in that we need to treat with antibiotics. A lot of times I use Tamiflu for the flu, and I add on an antibiotic for bronchitis or pneumonia or a urinary. Ear infection is very common.
Yes, we had a young man walk in the studio today. He works with us. He went to the doctor. He had what he thought was the flu, 103 fever. The doctor gave him Tamiflu and then minoxidil. Or what's it? Minoxidil? What is
Amoxicillin?
It? Amoxicillin.
Amoxicillin,
that's right. The guy's fine.
Yeah.
So that was his treatment.
And I do that too. I add that secondary antibiotic as well. And I think that's a very smart thing to do because a lot of times you don't know what it is. It can be two things at once. We have to think outside the box on the flu. Now, there's a universal flu vaccine in the works, Stuart. I'm going to make you take that. I talked to Tony Fauci, head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, yesterday. They're starting clinical trials. It sounds very promising to me, a year or two away.
One shot, you're good for life.
At least 10 years.
10 years.
At least 10 years.
One shot.
Are you going to take it?
I'm not answering your question. I really want to make time for this. European researchers, I've read this, they say they've got an anti-cancer drug in development that could stop tumours from spreading. Very promising because that stops cancer in its tracks. Is that correct?
Correct. It's huge. It's coming out of Sweden. It's a molecule called DHODH. What it does is it focuses on the cell membrane, on lipids, on fats, and an enzyme goes in the place of where the cancer would be. You know what cancer does? It jumps from cell to cell. It grows, and then that's the whole signature of cancer, is it knows how to take over the cell, make it deranged, and grow very fast. So they stick this drug in there. It binds to the cell membrane, and it prevents the cancer cells from growing.
Do you think that we will ever develop one single treatment, drug, or whatever that like a key that turns cancer off and fixes it forever?
Of all the things of all the things we've talked about on the show, I love two. One is CRISPR, which is the genetic editor that literally can cut out the DNA problem in cancer, the mutation, and cut it right out. The other is CAR T, we've talked about, where we take out your immune cells, re-engineer them genetically, put them back in to fight the cancer. Those are the two best things. This idea of preventing cancer from growing is also very interesting because, again, cancer growth is the key to its success. It takes over the body.
We love this promising stuff. We really
Biotech.
do. Yeah, and you're right in the middle of it. Thank you, Doctor.
Thanks,
Great
Stuart.
stuff. Thank you very much indeed, sir.